Blow the candle.
Okay, blow the candle first. Blow the candle first.
Why you
Tangan
blowing?
maybe. 1, 2,
You are
3.
Sultan,
No, all blow.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, just say a short prayer. Okay, ready? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, God, for bringing all of us together. Let my grandmother and grandfather have a great wedding anniversary. Lord, they have been married for 59 years. It's a very good thing for them. Thank you for letting them be the best they can be. Being amazing. Thank you. And thank you for giving us them. Done.
Very nice, very nice.
Okay, cut. All hold and cut.
I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in. Follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone.
Come on, we can give them a bigger round of applause. Yeah!
We were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes, you're mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, you heard, darling, you
அடிக்குது வெயிலே வாடிய குயிலே ஹர ஹர மகாதேவ கி 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 பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன ஹாய் பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன 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 இருட்டுக்கட ஹல்வாடி உயிட புலதா இருக்குதடி
மரட்டு பையா முறுக்காத திருட்டு பையா திருடாத
ஐயோ பௌர்ணமியின் வெள்ளை நீ பாகிஸ்தான் எல்லை நீ
அடிரடியா சரவெடியா அடிச்சு நொறுக்கி பட்டைய கிளப்புற
ஹர ஹர மகாதேவ கி 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 பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன ஹாய் பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன பப்ப பச்சன பச்சன பச்சன
Last week, we had a beautiful celebration of the confirmation for our students, and Mr. and Mrs. Nathan came to me, uncle came to me and said, Father, can you ask Bishop to bless us? Simple as he asked to get that blessings, I believe it's a powerful gift. And today, this morning, as I celebrated a wedding, I was just remembering them of 60 years. It's good times and in bad, in sickness and in health. I will love you and honor you, and that is the reflection of life. Thank you, Uncle and Auntie, for the 60 years. I invite you to stand for a while. all of you of different faiths, different nationalities. We have come to give this joy and blessings, as the MC has said. So we ask this good Lord to continue to bless Uncle and Auntie. As those of you who are Catholics, we sign ourselves in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for this gift of life that you share with us through Uncle and Auntie. As we all know, Mr. and Mrs. Mulawati. But whatever it is Mr. Nathan and Leela who met together and said to one another, I do, I do, I do. And that is the celebration that we celebrate today. And all of us receives that blessings through them. And we ask you to continue to take care of them and bring them that blessings of joy, healing, and most of all, your abundance comfort. We ask for your blessings upon them, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you, everyone.
Guide us
Thank you, everyone. This song is called The Prayer, and it's a song I hold very, very close to my heart. And I'm very happy that I'm able to share it with all of you today here, who I know means so much to my Tata and Emmy. Now, just as I did 6 years ago for his 10th memorial service in the Church of Sacred Heart, today I sing this song in memory of my late Patrick Mama.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Christy. I'm secretary to Patrick. And I was asked by Pauline to have a few words of my ex-boss, Patrick. When Pauline planned a surprise agenda for Papa and Mama Nathan, I was thrilled to help her with the surprise. And secretly, we met outside to receive her official invitations, and we gathered some old photos. Okay. I'd like to thank Pauline and the family for inviting me to this diamond celebration, 60th anniversary. It's a pleasure to be here to meet some of the friends, and with Siu Lin, Chris, some of the friends that I may have not met before, but I always talk to them over the phone. And today I finally met Nick, who is sitting at the same table. Okay. A little bit flashback. I met Patrick at a friend's birthday party. We were friends for a short while. Later, he hired me as his PA. I was fortunate to have nice bosses in my career path, but Patrick was my very first tough perfectionist boss, and yet a great mentor. His greatest gift was he made me work beyond my capabilities to be a better PA, from a junior secretary, and also not forgetting he made us work very hard and also party very hard. Those were the days that he taught me how to be a party animal. Okay, that is one of the criteria for working in a marketing department. Okay, we have to party after working. Okay, I had many challenges working for him. One of it was I was admitted after supporting him for first month, to meet his expectation. And Patrick is just not a boss, but a caring friend after work. A boss who put his family and friends at heart, then himself in his career growth. A boss who doesn't sleep, most is 4 hours, but his mind is still working round the clock. A boss with cheeky laughter and jokes that I can still see very clearly and hear very clearly. A boss full of brands from head to toes. Even his toothpaste, Patrick still remembers and always, joke on him at the national radio. And a boss who practiced open door concept, but his door is always closed. Okay. He loves Chinese food, and me being the secretary, I love Indian food. That's why you have Chinese and Indian food served today. No, I'm just joking. It's so coincidence. Okay. After MBF, we both head different ways. Somewhere we met again in DG, but we were working in a separate divisions. He may have left us physically, but he's always in our heart. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Siu Lin. When Pauline asked me to come tonight and to say a few words about Patrick, I hesitated because it is such a big task. How do I accurately describe a vibrant and loud man whose laughter exploded from him? A man who loved the finer things in life. A man who was always busy, yet found time to love and to care for people and the things happening around him. But just like I could never say no to Patrick, I couldn't say no to Pauline either. So here I am. I first met Patrick 24 years ago in Singapore. He immediately welcomed me into his life, shared his family and friends, and was the big brother that I never had. He taught me so much, more than I can ever explain. To think of what to say tonight, I sat and I thought about which moment we shared that would always make me smile. Some memories have faded, but many memories are still clear in my mind. Memories of dinners and celebration at Mama and Papa Naden's house, gossiping with him on the phone, and how he would get uptight if he thought I spent longer talking to Christy than to him, hanging out with him in Singapore, and even the memories of him whacking me when I annoyed him now make me smile. When I think of Patrick, I feel a warmth around me, like his presence is so near. I thank Patrick for the years of friendship that he gave me and for everything he taught and did for me. It has been a privilege tonight to share these memories of Patrick with everyone who knew him and loved him. Thank you.
Feel free to eat, because I notice everyone's frozen listening. Okay. You know, it's often said, out of sight, out of mind. For those of you who have children, and your children will always be your children even if you're 60 years old, it is more like the more out of sight they are, the more out of mind you become. It's true, we can never lose sight of our loved ones, regardless of how visible or invisible they may be, and it's certainly the case for me when it comes to Patrick. Despite having left us 16 years ago, Patrick continues to live in my life through my reflections in life, my conversation with friends, and more importantly, through the lessons he has taught me. Lessons that continue to be an integral part of being who I am and why Patrick can never be out of mind for me. He taught me the meaning of family. You know, Patrick's love for his family, especially his parents, was written all over his forehead. His love for his parents went beyond verbal, profession, or even talking a lot about them. It meant making them an integral part of his life. You know, how many grown men do you know who would ask his fellow blokes to go and have a drink and then invite his parents along? I vividly remember us heading out to Sold Out, getting ready to have some serious mojitos, and then on the way, while he was driving, he turned around and he says, I've got to invite a cool couple who's going to join us. And that cool couple was Auntie Leela and Uncle Patrick. And how right he was. We spent that night chatting, laughing, and I could see the sparkle in his eyes when he was with them. He wowed me with his sheer pleasure of hanging out with his parents and bonding with them, but he also made me yearn for family bonding and family closeness. Patrick taught me what it meant to be family and how to live it. He taught me how to do, second thing he taught me how to do business in the corporate world. You know, we all know Patrick had a trajectory growth in his corporate life. He was constantly getting promoted and was much in the limelight in the marketing and advertising world. Everyone who worked for him, as you can really tell from people before this, had a love affair with him. They couldn't stop singing his praises, and they all protected his interests. But he wasn't just a pretty face. Patrick taught me that to succeed in the corporate world, we needed to treat bosses, business partners, and subordinates as people first, and he exemplified what Jesus encourages all to do. Do unto others what we want them to do to us. He negotiated fair deals, never took advantage, even if the situation presented itself, and he always promoted a win-win deal. What was important lesson for me, and it was important because I just entered the corporate world, a lesson that has helped my career in my early days, and it helps me today in my business. Patrick taught me that to be successful in the secular world, the words and wisdom of the spiritual world also applied. He taught me how to make long-lasting friends. Because of his focus on people first, Patrick was very quick to convert me from his business associate to a personal friend. But his definition of friend included a very important component, and that was longevity. He knew lasting friends needed the investment of time. So on our weekends, before I was married, we would share with me his plans. When we would go out for weekend escapades, he would share with me his plans on wanting to connect with friends, old friends, friends he lost touch. He was constantly looking out. He also took me to some of them, and there I would witness where there was no time gap with any of his old friends. They just took off. Patrick taught me the important lesson of investment and returns applied in friendship. And that's why today, 16 years after his departure, he still has friends in our friends. Nature versus nurture. But these lessons that Patrick taught me couldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the genetic codes both his parents passed him and the loving upbringing his parents raised him with. Patrick's impact on the lives of the many people who came in touch with him is largely due to this wonderful couple who we celebrate their 60th anniversary. Patrick is without question a reflection of his parents and the qualities they possess. I still remember vividly Uncle and Auntie Nathan sending Patrick off at the burial site. They sent him off with so much of love and strength, encouraging him to have a safe journey as he continued to his next stage in his existence. They relied on each other's strength as they comforted everyone who was present. They became real pillars of strength. My instantaneous reaction when I witnessed that at the burial site was I wanted to adopt them immediately. But a good hard look of what I was actually asking was how I wish they would have adopted me. Uncle Nathan and Auntie Leela, loving, living and caring for each other for 60 years is not to be taken lightly. You are the epitome of what marriage is all about. You're a living example of what it means to be in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, and very importantly, that you will honor and love each other all the days of your life. And as the saying goes, the proof is in the pudding. Just look at Pauline, Peter, and Raymond. Just look at the lives of Pauline, Arul, and their children. It all comes from a source. And that source is in front of us. After 15 years of marriage and my first child on the way, Uncle and Auntie, you will continue to be an inspiration for me in how to love and honor my wife and how I like to raise my daughter to be. I pray that I'll do justice to the lives you've led by working towards celebrating, hopefully, my Golden Jubilee with joyful faces of family around. Love you both. Thank you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me.
Come and move that in my direction. So thankful for that, it's such a blessing, yeah. Turn every situation into heaven, yeah. Oh, you are my sunrise on the darkest day. Got me feeling some kind of way. Make me wanna savor every moment slowly, slowly. You fit me, tailor-made, love how you put it on. Got the only key, know how to turn it on. The way you never lie my ear, the only words I wanna hear. Baby, take it slow so we can last long.
Tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy acercando y voy armando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso.
Oh yeah, ya me está gustando más de lo normal. Todos mis sentidos van pidiendo más. Esto hay que tomarlo sin ningún apuro. Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firma las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer que tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito.
Sube, sube. Quiero desvelar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo. Que le enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos. Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro, hasta provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido.
Si te pido un beso, vendámelo. No sé qué estás pensándolo. Llevo tiempo intentándolo. Mami, estoy candidándolo. Sabes que tu corazón conmigo te hace bam bam. Sabes que esa beba está buscando de mi bam bam. Me pruebas de mi boca para ver cómo te sabe. Quiero ver con tu amor a ti te cabe. Yo no tengo prisa, yo me quiero dar el viaje. Empezamos lento, después salvaje. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Cuando tú me besas con esa destreza, veo que eres malicia con delicadeza. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Y es que esa belleza es un rompecabezas, pero para montarlo aquí tengo la pieza. Oye, despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firma las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito.
Quiero desvelar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo. Que le enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos. Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro, hasta provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido. Despacito, this is how we do it down in Puerto Rico. I just wanna hear you screaming, ay bendito. I can go forever cuando esté contigo.
Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito.
Enseñas a mi boca tus lugares favoritos.
Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a
Hasta
poquito.
provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido.
Despacito.
Kevin, God's. Come on, let's give him a big round of applause. Fantastic, Barry. Over to y'all.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mazayu. My family and I, we have been friends with Uncle Nathan and the family ever since I was 4. I'm 47 this year, so that's over 40 years. Uncle Nathan and Auntie, they are more like my parents' brother and sister, and they are also like my own dad and ma, if I can call you that. I've written something. I can't actually speak off the cuff. So here's a little story of my experiences with the family. how they have treated us. Back then, when we were staying in Hillside Estate, that's where we were neighbors. My late father used to travel quite a bit for work, leaving my ma to care for the five of us whenever he was away. Funny thing was that every time my father traveled, my younger brother and I, we would always fall sick. Kan nanti kan? And it was like there was this weird push button, jiggy-majiggy handwork that would press the big demam button whenever my dad stepped out of the house. And these two angels, without fail, on the second day, the next day, they'll come over to the house and ask my mom, Mrs. Mahdi, are you, Mazlan, okay? Every time, because every time my father travels, we would always be sick, and they were the ones that would take us to the clinic all the time. And who can forget the Christmas presents my brother and I receive every Christmas? The playhouses, the cooking sets, the Matchbox car sets. We were indeed the luckiest kids on the block. If there is just one word to describe both uncle and auntie, it would be angels. The kindest, ever so accepting angels. Both our families were more than just neighbors. Uncle and auntie, as I've said earlier, are my parents' brother and sister. And my siblings, to my siblings, you are both our mom and dad. Both you and uncle are the kind of couple whom so many love, the kind who inspires others with your friendly and witty welcome, generosity, and kindness to all. My late Abba would always say to us, in life, take those that are good and make it part of your living. Your regular acts of goodness and kindness to all are the ones I will emulate. I will continue to emulate. Many happy returns, Dad and Ma. Thank you for always being there for us, for the Mahdis. We love you to the moon and back. Over to you.
Okay, so they said there's no such thing as a free meal, right? First, I want to make it clear, I didn't volunteer. My cousin Pauline said, can you just say a few short words? You know, just a few short words. You know, you're able to talk a hind leg of a donkey, so just say a few short words about Auntie Leela. So I said, yeah, okay, that shouldn't be too hard, right? Then it became, oh, now you have to do this panel discussion. You have to be funny. You have to think of nice things to say. And I'm like, I may not make it for the dinner. But anyway, here I am. So what do I want to say about Auntie Leela and Uncle Nathan? In trying to think of what to say, I thought, okay, I'll do it off the cuff, so I won't be too formal. Pauline stressed several times that this has to be like a real warm family gathering, so I have to pretend to be warm and family and funny. Remember funny? Right. So I tried to think the funniest thing I remembered about Auntie Leela and Uncle Nathan, and I remembered this thing about Auntie Leela. At first I thought it was just my imagination, but when I was a kid, there was this lady who, every time she sees you, she grabs you and she tries to comb your hair like this, and she would plaster it down, and I would like, okay, that's that crazy lady who lives near the zoo, right? And I thought, maybe that's a figment of my imagination. Then a couple of years ago, she caught Kevin, and she started doing the same thing to him, and he was like struggling to get away, and I thought, aha, I recognize now that crazy lady who used to grab me and hug me and plaster my hair down. And that's my first memory of Auntie Leela. Then now my first memory of Uncle Nathan. I remember when they showed all the slides, the man is insanely crazy about Audis. And every time he'd come to Singapore or drive his Audi, he would drag me around, showing me the wonderful features of his car. So when I got my first car, by the way, I'm a BMW fan, and I tried to convince him that BMW is much better than Audi. I think at one time he was so angry with me, he was going to shove me out the car because he was like, this is an Audi. So that's my first memory of Uncle Nathan. But my first memory of them both together is every time when they come to Singapore or we come to KL, they would be so warm and inviting and invite us to their house and try to stuff us with food. And then they'll always go back on the old stories about grandpa, grandma. And this was a really big family. So the stories took a long, long time, and we'd never get out of the house until like midnight when we were so tired. But it was always great catching up with them. And now when I see them, it's really a great thing to see. This couple who've been together 60 years, who are still so loving, who raised great kids, except my cousin Pauline. And then they still have their siblings and friends with them, and they keep their friends forever, it seems. And I always, my favorite picture is always Auntie Leela, my mom, and Uncle Walter, because they came from the first wife. So I think it was Uncle Lionel and Uncle John and some other people whom I don't remember. But then there was Auntie Leela, Uncle Walter, my mom. And when they stand together, you can see the distinct family resemblance. Like the Three Stooges. They're like standing there and same height. I think their height challenged a bit, but and they always huddled together and whispering. Auntie Leela is always leading them like more wood, and my mother would always be nodding, and Uncle Walter would look a bit confused. But they all stuck together because they're so loving and so close. So I used to call them the Three Stooges, and I still do. And they're just part of this wonderful, warm family. So thank you for inviting us. Thank you for being the people you are. Love you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Just to inform that I'm the eldest nephew to my uncle. Okay? I'm not good in all these things. Normally, I put my foot in my mouth in this kind of situation. But I'll give it a good shot here. Now, not many people can truly say that they have been raised by the uncles and aunties. But in my case, I've been honored to be raised by them. At a very early age, that means I think I was about two or three around there. I was raised up by them. My grandfather had this big house there somewhere in Jalan Imbi, where he had all his sons, daughter-in-laws, the daughters, okay, all under one roof, okay? And can you imagine that? Nearly about 6 or 7 personalities there in one roof. And at a very early age, I was plonked into this setup, So can you imagine what it is? So this is what the result of it is. A truly confused person with nearly about 10 different personalities in me, okay? Not forgetting there was a Brahmin guy also staying with my grandfather at that time, and also the gardener. So I have all their personalities in me, And truly, I'm really a confused person, okay? So years went by, okay? I was there from the age of 2 right up to 7, okay? And they all had their share of raising me up, okay? My auntie, who is the only living sister of my uncle, Auntie Rosaline, she's sitting down there. And also there is my uncle's sister-in-law, I think, somewhere around here, Auntie Josephine. They all had, they all had a hand in raising me, okay? And the only person that had that much of influence on me was him. Because my uncle, his elder brother, Mr. Francis Susay, was very busy in his work. His younger brother also was busy. So he was the only one that I could get along with. In fact, his interests and my interests are very same, nearly identical, okay? He has interest in cars. I have interest in cars. His cars are new. Mine are very old. Okay. He has got interest in photography. He is very neat and tidy. I am untidy. Exact opposite, Directly, diametrically opposite. But even my profession is very similar to his. Okay. So he was really like a mentor to me until I was 7. And then that's when I moved over to my parents, because the reason I was here was because my father had an outstation posting, so my mother followed him. and I was raised up by my grandfather. So it was a very interesting life for me, actually. My uncle, even when I was staying with my dad, he used to come in his Lambretta, zooming down on a weekend, coming to pick me up and take me back to spend the time with all of them in Jalan Imbi, at that time. So I know that we have some kind of connection here, all right? But I must truly say, okay, I'm not a good nephew. I only visit him once in 20 years, okay? Now, you might think that I'm living abroad or anything, but I'm only living in Cheras, okay? And the last time I visited was just only about a month ago. I just couldn't bear him. Always, whenever we meet up, I know that about this occasion. So whenever we meet up, we'll be always talking about, I want to cut your beard, I want to cut your mustache, I want to cut, everything. He wants to do all type of things, okay, to me. Okay, but then I said, okay, to be on the safe side, all right, we will go and visit him. I told to my wife, we will go and visit him. So putting all my work aside, we went there, okay. So I was hoping that at least he would have changed a bit, He would have changed a bit, because people do tend to change when they get old, All right, so I thought, my God, okay, let's see what's going to happen, all right. So I drove my car straight down there, parked in front of his house, okay, and I got out, and I saw this gate there, white gate. I have not seen any gate like this, when you have a white gate outside a house, definitely there will be dirt and dust or something like that. This was pearly white. Just like, I was just thinking, am I in heaven or something? I was waiting whether St. Peter is going to come and greet me or what. This pearly white, I was thinking, oh my God, I said, he has not changed. Even his gate is clean. Even his gate is clean. I think, my God, I say, oh, it's wrong timing. I think I should have postponed this visit. All right, anyway, the gate opened. And there it was his car there, his Honda, gleaming, shining, perfectly parked straight. And then I looked at my car. I said, it was filthy. Anyway, so I can just see my wife, she's sticking out. I have to divert this a little bit. The only reason, there were many reasons, but the only reason that I never could come and visit you very often is because every time I visited y'all, on the way back, my wife will nag and nag and nag. Say, Fuyo, that man, really at this age also is working so hard, so hard working. See how he keeps there. You look at you, your car is dirty. Nag, 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 nag. So this time when I went down there, I could just imagine, I just could imagine my wife taking out a virtual notebook, writing down pearly white gate, car clean. I said, and she's got this very famous word, I think, fuyo, look at her. To hear that word again, I might as well jump off a cliff or something. All right, so as I walked right up to the entrance, I could see on the left-hand side all his flower pots, all beautifully arranged, all methodically arranged. I think they must use a ruler and, even the flowers were looking straight at me, I was just thinking whether to salute to them or say good evening, good afternoon. The flowers even were staring at me. Then who is the riffraff coming inside the house, So I said, I promised myself, I am going to find something nasty about this guy today. If not, my life will be hell in the car. Right. So we went inside the house, we sat down, and then they were also very gracious, we talked about, and as usual, my uncle kept on saying, it's going to snow in a few minutes' time. Rain has already come and gone, he was waiting for snow to come anyway. So then my auntie made tea. This one I have to admit, I am a coffee drinker, but my auntie makes the best tea. There is no doubt about it. You can ask, she makes the best tea, really. I'm a coffee drinker, believe me. And when she brought the cup of coffee, cup of tea, and I sat down there, and I was really treasuring it. And then I said, Nirvana. So, not because of the tea, I found a cobweb. right in the corner. I saw, my God, in this spotless house, where everything is so clean, I saw a cobweb. Literally, I jumped out of my seat. I was saying, my God, how did that cobweb escape this man's brush? This brew. Okay, so I was trying to get the attention of my wife, at least all the things that you written in the book, will be cancelled out because of that cobweb. But when I looked at the corner of my eyes, she was having a fantastic discussion with my uncle and auntie, and then there was this strong sound inside me, a voice inside me saying, Victor, behave yourself. So I said, okay, let them enjoy. I didn't want to spoil the day because it was a happy occasion. And I said to myself, okay, let those bygones be gone. And the good thing about this, my wife never said anything all the way back. It was, it was silent. She was silent. I was wondering, what has happened? Maybe the voice also went into her, said to her, please keep quiet. But one thing I can tell you about him, he's so spotlessly clean. I don't think, everything is so neat and tidy. And there's one more thing that I want to share. I think this is hilarious. This is really hilarious. We normally have these family occasions in my mother's house when they were alive, when my parents were alive, okay? And all the relatives, both my mother's side and my father's side come. And we have a good dinner, and then they all go back. Next day, the very next day, early in the morning, my mother gives me a call. And she says, hey, Victor, Aro or mama oda sapathu thirudiraanga. Let me translate that for you. Okay? Aro mama oda sapathu thirudiraanga. These were the exact words. So translation is, hey, Victor, someone stole your mama's shoe last night. I say, did he go back barefooted? She said, I do not know. Really, I do not know. Someone stole his shoe, he keeps on shouting at me, can you find his shoe? I say, what the hell? Early in the morning at work, so busy, They're asking to find a shoe. I said, who could have taken the shoes, Those people who came to my house were all respectable people, All engineers, police inspectors, all that type of people, all some stature, So I am put in a situation where I've got to take a list out and find who is the thief, who could have taken his shoe of all? Not my, So I was trying to figure out which auntie came with a very big handbag or with a plastic bag, to take his shoe of all the thing, So 2 days went by. 2 days went by, and then I was wondering. And my mother was asking, have you found the thief? Have you found the person who has taken the shoes? I said, no, So I said, why don't you pay him the money? Pay him to buy one shoe, because not nice for me to go and tell him that, let sister talk to brother, Okay, pay him. So he said, the shoe is $300. I said, what? $300? What, is he trying to make some bucks out of here? My shoe itself cost me $30, I'm talking about 30 ringgit that time, And his shoe was 300 ringgit. I said, so I was wondering, he's trying to make a quick buck here or something, Then I said, okay, let me talk to him. So I do remember this. My memory is not so good in this respect. But I do remember talking to him and he said, I don't know which bugger, he gave me Bata shoes and mine is an Oberman. I said, what? Oberman? Never heard of this word before, Oberman shoes, So when he mentioned Bata, I said, oh, I know who's the thief. I thought, I looked at my feet. And incidentally, I'm in the engineering line, so I normally wear safety shoes, okay? But that particular day, I was wearing these shoes. And I looked at it. It looked like my normal shoes, you know. And I was wondering, past couple of days, it was very comfortable. My feet was never complaining, you know. My feet was never complaining, you know. So I said, so in the middle of the office, you know, I took out the shoe like that, all right. I pulled it up. My staff all were looking at me. I said, what's happening? Are we going to sniff shoes now or what? You know. So I looked at it, Oberman. And my feet was telling, please, please don't give it back to him, you know. you know. So I thought, now it's not my fault. He put the shoe and went back. My Bata shoe. So I didn't know at that moment what to do. Whether to call up Bata and say, Oberman has stolen your design, okay? I could have made some money out of that, you know? Okay, or maybe do one Mission Impossible thing. You know, go at night and go and climb over his fence and put back. Because he is one of those people who speak, you know, very vocal. He'll start shouting at you, why you took my shoe and all that. So I thought, I plucked up my courage. I believe I plucked up my courage and came over and exchanged shoes. I was hoping that he would say, please keep the shoes, but he said, no, I'll give me back my shoe and you take back your Bata shoes, you know. So that was the incident there, you know. I clearly remember this. This was a very serious thing to my mother especially, because she was so worried that, you know, that someone has taken the shoes and gone. Anyway, I have many memories of him, but I also remember that he worked hard, okay? His line and my line are very similar. I'm in the engineering line, and he also was engineer. I do remember him going to Japan, all right? His interest in fiber optics. Mine too is fiber optics also at that time. Many similarities that we have, okay? I could always joke with him, and he can always joke with me. And I sincerely hope the creator of this world has given you good longevity, all right? Has given you happiness, has given you a good family, okay? Wonderful sons, wonderful daughters, grandchildren, and also a son-in-law, okay? A wonderful son-in-law. I hope that you will continue enjoying many more years together, all right? And I will visit you more often now, okay? Since everything is open, but I still will not shave. I will still maintain my looks. Anyway, Mama, at this stage, I want you to do something. I know Auntie comes from a musical family, all right? But I've never actually thought, I never heard you sing at all. Never heard you. I don't think I ever heard you, okay? When I tried thinking back to those days, I don't remember you. But I know you were instrumental in bringing music to the house in Jalan Imbi. You were always there playing the records. And in fact, I nicknamed you Record Mama, okay?
Handi mata menjalinkan janji untuk bersama. Merantas samudra membelah gunung, sebuah cerita cinta yang agung.
happened to be in I can't remember whether it was a hotel or a restaurant. And somebody asked him what his name was, whether he had a reservation. He says, yes, I have. What is your name, sir? Nathan. Suddenly in London, his name was Nathan. Hello, Nathan la day. Huh. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Patrick, and I want to tell you how I got to know this wonderful, wonderful couple. It wasn't because they liked me or anything. It was because at that time, more than 30 years ago, I met them because their son Patrick was looking for a place to have his youth on a mission meetings because their Taman Melawati house was not big enough. And I had a rather large house back then. So Patrick said, Patrick, can we come over to your house to have meetings? Huh? So that was how I got to know this family. And for some inexplicable reason, this couple and I became so close that from, I think, the very first day, I never called them Nathan or Nathan or Leela. To me, they were and always will be Mama and Papa Nathan. Yeah. And after so many years, more than 30 years, right, Papa? More than 30 years we've known each other. I've sort of become the other son, Patrick, of theirs. And I just want to say thank you very much, Mama and Papa Nathan. Just now, in the hotel room upstairs, Mama Nathan was telling me about how their marriage lasted 60 years. She said, you know, Patrick, now by 8 o'clock at night, I'm sleeping already. And then I get up, about 5:30, I get up. Then I go and do the housework, you know, I clean the floor, everything. And then by 8 o'clock at night, I'm sleeping. I say, so? That's how lah. That's how we can be together for 60 years. So I don't have to see that fella too much in between. You know? And Papa Nathan said, you know, how I managed to stay with this woman for 60 years. You know, I have this goiter problem, right? So this problem affects my nerves, which also affects my hearing. So for 60 years, I pretend that I cannot hear. So there was always peace in the family because he can't hear and she avoids him the whole day. So if you want a piece of advice of how to stay together for 60 years, don't listen to the bugger and don't see each other too often. Like you, right? You haven't seen them for years. That's why you're so close. Anyway, seriously, Mama and Papa Nathan are the happiest couple I have ever known, and I think I will ever know. Nobody can be as happy as them. She's always laughing. He's always laughing. Sometimes I wonder why he's laughing, but he laughs. You know? When I meet them in the hotel room, the first thing he does is he laughs. No, today, the first thing he did was to show me his big stomach. And then he laughs. Why did you show me your stomach? Huh? Excuse me, Mr. Cameraman, can you move away? Why you want to block the Indian fella? Already they're a minority. Don't do that lah. No respect like these Chinese fellas, I tell you. Mama and Papa Nathan, thank you very much for making me a part of your family all these 30 years. I'm very grateful and I'm very happy to be here celebrating with you your 60th wedding anniversary. By the way, for those of you who didn't know, next Friday is Papa Nathan's 89th birthday. Stand up, please, Papa. Look at this bugger. How can he be 89 years old? He doesn't look a day over 87. Which means that next year, Papa Nathan is going to be Okay, you can sit down now, Nathan. Yeah, sit down. Yeah. Next year, Papa Nathan is going to be 90 years old. I don't know to the Malay people or to the Indian people whether it's any significance or not. But to Chinese fellas, 90 is a big deal, man. Right or not? Any Chinese here, put up your hand. Oh, okay. Oh, scared lah. Now you know how it feels to be in the minority, baga. 90 years is a big, huge birthday for the Chinese community. If you reach 90, you must have a big birthday party. Arul, where are you? Arul, you know that, huh? Next year, 90th birthday. And you know what Arul said to me? Yeah. No, next year is Papa's 90th birthday, so we got to have a big party. But how big it is depends on how much money is in the boxes out there, lah. Then he said, you know, Patrick, Chinese fellas are very generous. They'll put a lot. But Indian buggers are them stingy. True or not? So we hope that next year you will invite us to come and celebrate with you your 90th birthday. Papa Nathan, yeah? And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to be upstanding? All of you, please stand up, except for Mama and Papa Nathan, you remain seated. Don't worry, those of you who are as old as Papa Nathan will wait a minute for you to stand up. Okay. May I ask you all to raise your glasses and drink a toast to the happiest couple in the whole universe. Happy 60th anniversary. Long life, much continued happiness, and we look forward to your next 60. Mama and Papa Nathan. Wait, shall we do the yam sing thing? Okay. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Yam sing. Thank you. How does the Indian yam sing go? They bring the next bottle. All right. As you can see, we have assembled the cake up on the stage. Are we going to get them up on the stage? The cake not there. They come up. Okay. Mama and Papa Nathan, if I may invite you now to come up on stage to cut your 60th wedding anniversary cake. Go. Hey, Papa Nathan, just because 60 years anniversary, come there and help your wife lah, hey. What lah you? Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations on the first 60 years. Mama and Papa Nathan, Nathan and Leela, congratulations. Thank you. Put your hands around your wife, lad, eh? What, after 60 years you forgot already, ah? Huh? Or you cannot hear, lah? Can you please cut a piece of cake and feed your wife like 60 years ago, lah? Somebody cut the cake for him, lah. Because, can I? Okay. This was how you did it 60 years ago. With your fingers, they not with a knife, huh? Okay. Walking through unopened doors that led me back to you. After they cut the cake, I'm going to tell you a story about his Audi cars, okay? Yeah! Congratulations, Mama and Papa Nathan. Happy wedding anniversary!
I needed to grow, and finally my
Just now you heard someone tell you stories about Papa Nathan's Audi. Wait, we'll let them come back to their seat. All right, just now you heard somebody say Papa Nathan loved his Audi cars. And anybody who came to the house and saw the cars, he will tell you the best car in the world is an Audi. So 30-some years ago, when I first met him and visited them in the Melawati house, I saw the Audi. And of course, I asked him, wow, Papa Nathan, you like Audis? And he said, of course, it's the best car in the world. And he started telling me about why the Audi was the best car in the world. And he can go into real detail, okay? And then after that, he changed to another Audi. When I saw it, I said, wow, new Audi, Papa. He said, yeah, you know, it's the best car in the world. And he tells me why it's the best car in the world. And this goes on for years. How many Audis did you have? He has too many, he cannot even remember. Every single new car he bought was an Audi. So after a while, I thought maybe he really thought it was the best car in the world. Then many, many years later, for some reason only known to himself, he changed from an Audi to a what? Honda. Then he had a Honda. Then when I saw the Honda in his driveway, I said, wow, Papa, you bought a Honda? Yes, of course. It's the best car in the world. Then he started telling me about the best car in the world. What a wonderful car Honda was. Then I discovered Papa Nathan is the kind of person, whatever car he owns is the best car in the world. Right on. But anyway, it's my privilege and honor to be here. Thank you very much, Papa and Mama Nathan. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you all so much for coming for this special occasion, honoring my grandparents' 60th wedding anniversary. They have always cared and looked after me and my sister, most of the time spoiling us with gifts that show their love for us. Tata, you have always been there for me since day one, in kindergarten to now, secondary. Without fail, you send me to school and back. You always make me laugh and cheer me when I'm down. Your jokes are sometimes bad, but to me, they always are hilarious and I can't stop laughing. Emmy, you are the one that has always protected me. You always worry about what we eat, if we have enough pocket money, or when we're sick. No matter what, you have always been there to resolve issues together with us. My grandparents have stuck by me and my sister through good times and bad. They have been by our side no matter what and have never let us down. However, they argue a lot. They argue so much, you can make a reality TV show about them like the Kardashians. But I know you two still love each other. So, Tata and Emmy, thank you for all these years of your love and support. All of us love you, and more importantly, I love you. Thank you.
On behalf of the family, especially Mum and Dad, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming down tonight. And I hope you had a really good time. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. To Mum and Dad, happy anniversary from the family. We love you. And thank you for everything you've done for us. I would like to thank Father Chris. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Patrick Teo. Great speech. I would like to thank Bernard. I would like to thank especially all the performers. They put in so much of hard work and they were amazing. Thank you. Thank you as well to everyone who helps out in the registration. And if I've missed anyone out, I'm sorry, but thank you. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Good night.
राम जी की चाल देखो, आंखों की मजाल देखो, करे ये धमाल देखो, अरे दिल को तुम संभाल देखो, अरे चाल देखो ढाल देखो, रगों में उबाल देखो, 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 देखो।
देखा है तुझको जब से हाय मैं तो हिल गया, लगता है मेरे सीने से दिल निकल गया। देखा है तुझको जब से हाय मैं तो हिल गया, लगता है मेरे सीने से दिल निकल गया। मम्मी से क्या डैडी से भी मिलाऊंगा तुझे, अरे जो भी मैं कहूँ तुझे लगता है क्यों गलत। तेरा ध्यान किधर है ये तेरा हीरो इधर है, तेरा ध्यान किधर है ये तेरा हीरो इधर है, तेरा ध्यान किधर है ये तेरा हीरो इधर है। तो भला तुझे इतनी भी खबर है कि तेरा हीरो इधर है।
तेरे नाम नाल सजना वे मेरा दिल धड़के, मेरा दिल धड़के, तेरे नाम नाल सजना वे मेरा दिल धड़के, मेरा दिल धड़के। आशिकी हयाती नसीबी हबीबी आशिकी, नाम तेरा पढ़के, नाम तेरा पढ़के मैं लवली हो गई, नाम तेरा पढ़के, नाम तेरा मैं लवली हो गई, नाम तेरा पढ़के, नाम तेरा पढ़के मैं लवली हो गई, नाम तेरा पढ़के, नाम तेरा।
அடியே சக்கரை கட்டி நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள ஸ்டிக்கரை ஒட்டி என்னத்தான் எங்க கூட்டி போறியோ நீ அடிய அடிய வேணாம் அடியே என்ன கொஞ்சம் பார்த்து சொல்லடி வா
nothing, nothing.
Let's give them a big round of applause. Okay. Thank you, guys. So we have come to the end of the session. I hope you have enjoyed. Mama? Auntie? So the dance floor is open for everyone who's going to dance. We're going to have music still on until late at night. For all those who want to dance, you can please come up and dance. But thank you, everyone, for making time, and hope to see you all again next year. Good night.